MIT studied 300 corporate AI deployments. 95% produced no measurable return. None. The same year, Reddit, a company that lost money for 19 straight years, booked $530 million in profit, partly by selling its old comments. Both of those facts are true. Today, the gap between them. Welcome back to New Wealth, where we reverse engineer how money is actually made in this economy, not how people say it's made. Everyone calls this the AI gold rush, and the comparison is better than they realize. In the original gold rush, the miners mostly went broke. The money flowed to a small number of quiet positions that had nothing to do with swinging a pickaxe. Same thing is happening right now. While 95% of AI projects return nothing, 3 specific mechanisms are printing money, reliably at documented scale, mostly without press coverage. The first 2, most businesses aim at and miss. You'll see exactly why. The third one, almost nobody outside the deal rooms knows exists. And it's the one where the numbers made me stop and recalculate. By the end, you'll have all 3, plus a 3-question test you can run on any company, including your own. Worth saving. You'll use the test for years. First, the misconception. Because it's expensive. Most people think making money with AI means one of 2 things. Build a chatbot or be a tech giant. That belief is precisely why the failure rate is 95%. The MIT study is worth 2 minutes of your attention. Their Nanda initiative interviewed 150 executives, surveyed 350 employees, and analyzed 300 public AI deployments. The finding, only 5% of pilots produced rapid, measurable impact on the profit and loss statement. And the failure wasn't the models. MIT calls it the learning gap. Companies bolt AI onto workflows that were never redesigned for it. But buried in the same report is the tell. More than half of corporate AI budgets go to sales and marketing, the visible, demo-friendly board meeting stuff. The measured returns showed up somewhere else entirely, the back office. Unglamorous cost lines, outsourcing bills, administrative drag. In other words, companies are pointing the money at the loud end of the business, and AI is paying out at the quiet end. Now, you already know the famous answer to who profits in a gold rush. The shovel seller, Nvidia. That trade is known, priced, and crowded. What's not priced in are the 3 quiet positions on the other side of the ledger. The first one hides in a P&L line item nobody puts in a press release. February 2024, Klarna, the Swedish payments company, put an AI assistant in front of its customer service. First month, 2.3 million conversations, 2/3 of all support chats, doing the work of 700 full-time agents. Klarna projected a $40 million profit improvement from that single deployment. By late 2025, the assistant was doing the work of roughly 850 agents. Response times were 82% faster, and the savings were running around $60 million a year. Now the part of the story the AI hype machine skips, and the reason this mechanism works. In May 2025, Klarna publicly reversed course and started rehiring humans. The CEO admitted that automation driven purely by cost produces lower quality and promised customers a human whenever they want one. Read that carefully. The $60 million in savings is real, and it survived the correction. What died was the fantasy of 0 humans. The equilibrium is a machine handling the repetitive 2/3, and people handling everything requiring judgment. That is mechanism 1. Aim AI at a cost line, not a headline. It's exactly where MIT found the actual returns. And notice, no chatbot startup was required. Just a company willing to automate its least glamorous department. Mechanism 2 has been printing money for so long that people forgot it's AI. Netflix's recommendation engine, the thing choosing what you see when you open the app, is credited by Netflix's own engineers with about $1 billion a year in value, mostly by preventing cancellations. At Amazon, industry analysis attributes roughly 35% of sales to the recommendation system, 1/3 of the store sold by an algorithm. Nobody calls this artificial intelligence anymore, and that's the lesson. When AI genuinely makes money, it disappears into the product. There's no announcement, no glowing purple interface. Just churn quietly going down and order size quietly going up. What's changed, and why this matters to you and not just to Amazon? is that this machinery stopped being a tech giant privilege. Personalized recommendations, dynamic email, per-customer pricing pages. What cost Netflix, a research division, now rents for a few $100s a month. The visible AI gets the conference keynotes. The invisible AI gets the revenue. Which brings us to mechanism 3, the strange one. Some companies have discovered they can make millions with AI without deploying any AI at all. They're not using the models, they're feeding them. February 2024, Reddit, 19 consecutive years without a profit, announces a deal with Google on the same day it files to go public. $60 million a year for permission to train AI on Reddit's content. Old threads, old arguments, old comments, some of them 2 decades old. In total, Reddit disclosed around $203 million in signed content licensing contracts, including a deal with OpenAI worth roughly $70 million a year. By fiscal 2025, $2.2 billion in revenue and $530 million in net income. The first profitable year the company has ever had. Think about what actually happened there. Reddit's most valuable asset turned out to be its past. A pile of user comments that sat on the books for 20 years worth precisely nothing until AI companies became desperate for one commodity: authentic human text. In a gold rush, the surprise winners are the people who discover the gold was under land they already owned. And Reddit is not an outlier. News Corp, the Wall Street Journal's parent, signed with OpenAI for more than $250 million over 5 years, the largest content deal disclosed so far. Shutterstock, the stock photo company, reported $104 million of AI licensing revenue in 2023 and projected $138 million for 2024. Licensing photos it had been sitting on for years. Axel Springer, around $13 million a year. And the market is still repricing. Reddit is now pushing Google to replace flat fees with dynamic pricing. Payment scaled to how much its data actually powers the answers. Archives, back catalogs, forum posts, photo libraries, dead weight, suddenly or only. So, 3 mechanisms. Cost line automation, invisible personalization, and selling the archive. Here's the same thing as a test. 3 questions you can run on any company you're evaluating or building. Question 1. Does the AI cut a real cost line? Not does it demo well, does a specific expense on the P&L get smaller? Klarna could point to the line, customer service, 60 million lighter. MIT's 5%, the pilots that worked, were overwhelmingly aimed at exactly this. If you run a business, the move is almost embarrassingly simple. List your 5 ugliest repeated processes and automate the ugliest one first. Nobody tweets about it. That's the point. Question 2. Does the AI disappear into the product? If the AI is the headline feature, be suspicious. That's the 95%. If it's invisibly moving retention, conversion, or order size, the Netflix pattern, that's the 5. The metric is never we added AI. The metric is churn, basket size, repeat rate. Question 3. Does it monetize something already owned? This is the one almost everyone skips. Data with real customers behind it. A content archive, structured records in a niche nobody else covers. Reddit's comments were worthless for 19 years. Scarcity of authentic human data made them a 9-figure asset. Audit what you're sitting on before you build anything new. Cut a cost line, disappear into the product. Monetize what you own. If a company, or your business, clears even one of the 3, it's playing the actual game. 2 or more, and it looks like Reddit's balance sheet. 0, and it's a pilot program waiting to join MIT's 95%. The balanced view, because this channel doesn't do cheerleading. The 95% failure rate will improve as companies close the learning gap. Early electricity looked exactly like this. And mechanism 3 has real risk. Courts are still deciding what training data is worth, and synthetic data could undercut the archive trade entirely. Klarna's walkback is the honest reminder that every one of these corrects before it settles. Your question for the comments: reasoning, not vibes. Which of the 3 prints money longest? Cost automation, invisible personalization, or data licensing? Best argument gets pinned. Save this one. The 3-question test applies to every AI claim you'll hear for the next decade. Next episode, we stop analyzing companies and build one. How a single person, one laptop, and Claude could realistically assemble a $1 million AI business in 30 days. Real numbers, no guru math. Subscribe so it finds you.